energy. So that will be an issue that I'll champion.
Okay, Lucy. In recent years, the state of Nevada adopted comprehensive legislation banning discrimination against LGBTQ Americans in the workplace, in public accommodations, and in most other areas. Federal law still lacks this. If elected to Congress, will you co-sponsor the Equality Act to update the Civil Rights Act to include LGBTQ Americans?
Yes.
And you have a minute 27 seconds left.
Well, I can identify some other code violations or something. No, I mean, look, there isn't too much to add to that. We're in a time where look, we started with all people are created equal. That includes gender, that includes race, that includes sexual orientation, that includes everything. All people are created equal. I just don't think that there's too much to debate or to add to them. It's a very simple core concept that I think that as Democrats we should all be very dedicated and loyal to.
Yep.
Senator Kihuen, a recent Las Vegas Sun article let it be known that you did not want to attend the City of North Las Vegas State of the City because it was at Station Casinos and because you are a strong supporter of the Culinary Union and you support their efforts to unionize their workforce, yet you took money from the Ferrietta family and from Station Casinos in your state Senate re-election bid. How would you explain to voters that you're not playing both sides of that issue?
As I mentioned, my mother's been a 22-year member of the Culinary Union. That is mainly the reason why I'm a strong supporter of the Culinary Union. That and also because they fight for workers who otherwise cannot fight for themselves. They give a voice to people who otherwise wouldn't have a voice. Can you picture that housekeeper sitting down with the big corporate lawyers trying to negotiate? It's nearly impossible, right? So you have to have representation. That's what the unions do. What I will say is this. We have right now Station Casinos who has violated multiple times. They've been found in violation of many labor laws by the National Labor Board, and they continue to do so. And many other properties here in the state of Nevada, including MGM, some of the largest in the state and the country and the world, including MGM, Caesars Entertainment, Boyd Gaming, they've all sat down with the Culinary Union and negotiated contracts for their employees. And it is a shame that right now we have a company who refuses to come to the table and sit down. Now, I did make attempts to reach out and try to negotiate some sort of talk between Culinary and Stations. I was hopeful when I talked to them that this would, that this would be a pathway to allow them an opportunity to negotiate. But unfortunately, Station Casinos refuses to come to the table. And as long as they continue refusing to come to the table, I will not take any of their money, and I will continue to stand on the side of the workers, because this country continues to be controlled by the big corporations, by the wealthy and the elite, and that is what the Station Casinos is a perfect example, that the Station Casinos, the Walmarts of the world, continue to control this country, and that is unacceptable.
Ms. Lee, all those children that you have helped graduate from high school, do you think they should have the opportunity to go on to college for free?
Definitely, college affordability obviously is a huge issue in this country. I had the opportunity to go to school. Again, I grew up as one of 8 kids, and my parents didn't have the means to save for us to go to school. So I did have the opportunity through Pell Grants and work study and Perkins loans to go to a good school and graduate. And certainly the price of education has skyrocketed since then. I do think that there are opportunities for us to make college more affordable. If we could make college free and pay for it, it was something I would be in favor of. I'm just not sure how that gets paid for. And I also think that we have to look at the other side of the coin, which is the escalating price of a college education, and take steps to control the increase in those prices. since I went to school, the cost of my education has increased almost 1,000-fold. And so being able to offer that same opportunity to young people is diminishing. And so looking at college affordability and offering incentives, whether it is allowing students to refinance their loans. I mean, we let people refinance their house loans, but yet we don't do that with college students. So those are alternatives that I'd look at as well.
John, there's been a lot of talk about possibly professional sports coming to Clark County at some point in Las Vegas, whether it's the NHL or the NFL. Been a lot of money thrown around, a lot of debate about that. Do you see that as being something that would be positive for Nevada and for Clark County, and how could the state use that, if it were to happen, to benefit the state as a whole?
Thank you. I do. I think it is a positive thing. Now, how that gets financed again is another issue. But look, we've reinvented ourselves in this state many, many times. And I think a professional sports team would be the next step in reinventing ourselves again. We'd have the opportunity to bring not only professional sports, but major concerts, major festivals. We have to keep reinventing this economy and keep revigorating it. Invigorating it. Sometimes you say the wrong words. But it's how we pay for that. And so, look, there's been some money put on the table. There's already some land. If I wouldn't be in favor of public financing. So, if that answers your question, I hope.
Okay, Ruben, you're first in the rotation this time. This question was submitted by a Let's Talk Nevada reader. As a Friends of Gold Butte board member, whose mission it is to permanently protect our piece of the Grand Canyon, I want to know where you stand on permanent protection for special places like Gold Butte, where sadly we are seeing increased damage to archaeological resources and habitat for threatened species. Sincerely, Byron George. And I want to add that to another question some of our readers asked me this evening to relay. People who've recently discovered Mesquite and bought a home here said Nevada is always known for partying and casinos and gambling, but they see the mountain climbing, the hiking, the natural resources, the fabulous outdoor recreation things that are available here. So what would you do to help protect these special places, and how would you help trying to get Nevada on the map for some additional outdoor activities?
Well, first of all, I plan on continuing the work that Senator Reid started in designating some of these areas as national monuments. A few years ago, before I decided to run for Congress, a long time before I decided to run for Congress, I came up for the Gold Butte Days. I was out there at the little festival that they do, showing my support as a state senator in their efforts. This is, I want to say, 4 or 5 years ago. And in the state legislature, you might recall, there was the resolution number 1 that, Congressman Hardy's buddy, Senator Goycochea, who is friends with the Bundy family, presented a bill, a resolution to send a message to Congress that we want our lands back. Not only did I vote against it, Senator Ford and myself were the 2 senators who took the lead on the Senate floor and spoke out against this resolution. Because, first of all, we cannot afford it. We have all this open land, particularly in the 4th Congressional District, that if it's given back to the state, we cannot afford it. And second of all, I will continue making the effort to designate Gold Butte as a national monument. And as far as the outdoor recreational areas, I mean, look, I'm an avid hiker out of Red Rock. I would support any effort in trying to diversify our economy through recreational and outdoor activities.
If it's okay with you, Bernie, can I ask a short question for all 4 candidates?
Go right ahead.
All right.
We've got about 15 more minutes here, and we'll change up the rules just a bit.